Real quick, right before the video starts, I do want to say that this was filmed a year ago. So there may be some discrepancies because this was filmed before Breach was even announced and before we had any information about the lore at that time. So I do want to apologize for that if there are any discrepancies, and I do want to apologize for this video taking so long to get out. It has been a year. And I promise you the next one won't take a year. It'll be a lot sooner. But for those that have been waiting for it, I am sorry that you had to wait for so long, but here it is, and I really hope you enjoy the video. Alright, hey guys, Mike here, and welcome back to another lore video. This time today, we're going to be covering Blurryface. In the last video, I covered a little bit of a brief history of 21 Pilots. If you haven't seen that, I'd say it's worth checking out. It's nothing important to the lore yet, but it's just nice to have a bit of background. So if you haven't checked that out, yeah, I would say go ahead and do that right now. And without further ado, we have a lot to cover today, so let's get on into it. All right, to start off the timeline, we are going to start on January 12th, 2015. On this day, the Blurryface account was created. However, there was nothing on that account, and there would be nothing on that account until April of that year. All right, so we're actually going to jump a couple of months to March 17th, 2015. The band had just made an announcement that they were going to be releasing a new album on May 19th. This album was going to be called Blurryface. And later that day, they had also released a music video for their single, Fairly Local. However, before they even announced it, the album cover and the album name itself had got leaked before they even made that announcement. So Tyler, being Tyler, he's hilarious, says, yeah, the album cover got leaked, and I plan on leaking more tomorrow. And then, because he said he'll leak more stuff tomorrow, the next day on his Instagram, he just put out the whole track list in its order. You really showed him. Now, a fan on Reddit by the name of Nick Frey had said that there was a website purchase by the name of blurryface.com on January 13th, 2015. That kind of explains it now, but it was confirmed to be purchased by Tyler through GoDaddy? Jesus, I haven't heard that name in years. So it's also noting that the Blurryface Twitter account was created, and then the very next day, the website was bought from Tyler. So that kind of confirms that at the time that Tyler made that account. Now, we are also going to jump a little bit ahead to April 6, 2015. The band had just released their song, Tear in My Heart, and it had also come with a music video as well. It is a really good song now I'm thinking about it. Like, I've heard it live a couple of times, but it's just really cool. And then, however, a couple days later, the Blurryface account would finally start tweeting. So on April 14th and 15th of 2015, the Blurryface account would make their first tweets. And these wouldn't really be any notable tweets. Like, they're just photos of the band and their shows that they would do. But some of the photos kind of look like they were stage photos, like someone on stage had taken them. So that's our first hint that this account isn't fan run and that it's kind of more of a pseudo-official account in a way. Now, on April 20th, Blurryface would tweet again with official track names of the album. So it would be Heavy Dirty Soul .wave, Stressed Out .wave. So it's kind of showing right then and there that this is kind of an official account and that we should be looking towards it. Yeah, we really should have. And then a day later, Blurryface tweeted a pretty dark photo of Tyler with a ukulele, and it's kind of showing that, you know, once again, it's official. Blurryface really had to make the account look official because later down the line there would be multiple accounts trying to impersonate, so it's kind of good to leave this early on. So it's also noted that I am not going to be going through everything on Blurryface's Twitter. If you do want to see Blurryface's Twitter, I will leave a link in the description that shows an entire timeline of it. There's just a lot he's tweeted. Some of it's relevant, some of it's not. Some of it is sort of relevant, but I won't be talking about it in this video. So I would say go ahead and go to that website if you want to see a complete timeline of it. Otherwise, you can also just use it as show notes in a way. Now, the first weird or cryptic tweet that Blurryface would make wouldn't be until April 23rd, 2015. He had posted a video onto his Twitter, and if you clicked on the video and listened to it, it sounded a little weird, honestly. So if you see the video right off the bat, it looks weird. It looks like everything is in reverse. So because of that, people were like, oh, let's go ahead and reverse this video. And the audio that came with it sounds really familiar. So we're gonna show the reverse video. Did you guess the audio? Did you guess it? Yeah. It sounds a lot like Good to It's Stressed Out. The video is an instrumental of Stressed Out. Also at the time, Stressed Out didn't even have like talks of being released. It wasn't a song at the time. So people just heard it and thought it was a random beat, which honestly happens again in a couple years. We won't get into that in this video, but it happens multiple times. He's done this like no other, and it is hilarious because we never think about it until something happens. So now we're going to jump ahead to April 24th, 2015. This is what I consider one of Blurryface's big days because he began hinting that a new song was coming out in a way that's actually really funny. He would only like tweets, because back then you could actually see tweets. He would only like tweets that said the words stressed or stressed out. Obviously, it seems like Stressed Out was on its way. So people actually caught on to this really early, and here's a tweet right now where someone tested it, and it works. That's absurd, and I love it. I'm just so happy that worked. And next, this is like one of the few times he's ever done this, was he would actually DM a few fans saying, "That's what you think," or "Don't follow me." Then he proceeded to block those fans for a little bit. So yeah, he's like, "Don't follow me." Blocked. He's like, "That's what you think." Blocked. Dude, I think Blurryface is a bit of a hater now I'm thinking about it. Now the next day, Tyler was posting click art on his Instagram, and then in the comments, he decided to write Sunday night with the band's logo on it. With the... I can't do it. We'll do it later. Also, I want to say that the day that I'm recording this, it's the day after Blurryface's 10th anniversary. So as I'm recording this, there is lore going on that I'm going to have to cover later. And let me tell you right now, what they're doing is kind of giving me PTSD, which you're going to see by the end of the video why that is. Because I don't want to go through it again. Also, one more thing before I get into the next thing. I wasn't there for this. I became a fan in June 2016. So this is all technically before my time, but I'll let you know when I finally joined in and was there for that. So shortly after Tyler made the Sunday night tweet, Blurryface decided to tweet, and he thought he was going to do things his way. He tweeted,
"Not Sunday night, Monday night. I made them change it.
Do you need like Grammarly, dude? What? I know it didn't exist back then, but you got to work on that, man. I hope it gets better. So at this time, Blurryface was still heavily debated among people if this was an official account or a fan-run account to generate hype for the new album. So while the Blurryface account was still being debated for being an official account, he decided to go live on Periscope. Do you remember that? Because I don't remember Periscope. I was way too young for that. So on the live, it showed a whiteboard, and it had "My name's Blurryface, and I care what you think" scribbled on it. I say scribbled, it's written, but it kind of looks like scribbled. I mean, Blurryface could be a doctor, and I wouldn't question it because I see the writing. And then a shadow would also be pacing back and forth that you would see across the board, which is assumed to be Blurryface. So finally, on Monday, April 26, 2015, Blurryface decided to wake up and jump scare the living hell out of everybody by saying Monday night and tweeting a photo with some stressed out lyrics on the screen. So people were like, "Oh, what's happening tonight? Whoa!" So obviously later that night, a single was released, and this single would be the one that put them forward, put them on the map in a way. This single would be "Goner." No, I'm just kidding. The single was "Stressed Out." There was also no music video yet, so it was just released as an audio only. Hey, editing Mike here. I just realized that I said the single was released that night. I was wrong. No, it was released 2 days after, so even though I'm saying tonight, it was released 2 days after this tweet had happened. So everything I talk about saying later this day this was tweeted is correct. However, the single was 2 days after. So sorry about that. I didn't catch that until now. So we're going to go quickly into a couple of these things. I mean, they're not really noteworthy, but he still tweeted about them, and they're kind of like important, but not really. So fan accounts were being run. So Blurryface would also try to verify himself, like saying, "Only me, I'm the only one here." And then also something that became very prevalent again, thank you, was that Blurryface would quote unquote hack other people's accounts. So like the Skeleton Click Twitter would be speaking in a way that Blurryface was also, with the capital letters and kind of like not grammatically correct words, which is fine. I'm as a major in film with writing, that I'm fine with that. Then Blurryface was also teased the stressed out video that was coming by showing the backpack strap that was on the video, which, by the way, I'm now remembering the Hot Topic backpack that I really wanted as a kid. I still want it. I miss it. It's been years since I've seen it. So Blurryface would also just block people just because. He does that a lot. He will just block people. Even recently, he blocked people. And then he would finally go live on Periscope again. Once again, don't know what that is. I guess it's a streaming service, but not like Disney, like a live streaming platform. There we go. That's the word. So this live would be him wandering around in the woods, which I believe is the same woods as the video Ride was shot in. It's kind of, kind of like unconfirmed. So a little small detail, Tyler had also teased the stressed out music video coming by showing him in what we now know is his Blurryface persona, or the manifestation of Blurryface himself, with the title, with the caption, not the title, "And I care what you think." Now we know that's directly Blurryface talking to us, which we will get into later. So finally, Blurryface had leaked the song Lane Boy that would be coming out on the album, and I believe would be the next single. He showed this by posting a photo and the caption saying,
"Force their hand, drip, drip, drip."
Blurryface, I can't believe it's Blurryface doing this. Blurryface made a pun. You get it, because drips, showing that something's leaking if you hear a drip. It's so It's so dumb. I love it. So on May 4th, 2015, the official single for Lane Boy was out, just like Blurryface said it would be. So that kind of gives a little bit of correlation there. Also, once again, there was no music video for that yet, so this was released as a audio only video. You get it. So then the next time Blurryface would tweet would be, well, quote unquote tweet, would be him going live on Periscope and once again wandering in a forest. He does this a few times, but this time it's pretty important because the next day on May 5th, 2015, he would post saying,
taking my time.
Which we know what that means now, but at the time no one really did. In fact, people thought that this meant that Blurryface was kind of like canceling the album, or it's going to be delayed because he's taking his time with it. Spoiler, he wasn't. He's just teasing new stuff. So then on May 8th, 2015, once again, Blurryface would also tease Ride by saying,
I've been thinking too much. Help me.
Then, as if that wasn't cryptic enough, because, it's Blurryface. He hates being cryptic. That's his favorite hobby. He then jump scares the fans by saying tomorrow a bunch of times. What the fuck? And finally, to end the day off, he posts
Drip, drip, drip.
and a very cryptic photo that we are going to find out later what that means. So if you thought that wasn't one of the big days that Blurryface had, this one is. This is one of those huge days that he had on his Twitter account. So we are going to jump to May 9th, 2015. He tweets,
You have won this time.
which we fully don't know what this means yet, but it does have a bit of a retaliation later on down the line. So my personal theory is that a leak was going to happen. He was going to leak something, but then it didn't end up happening. So it's Blurryface is saying like, oh, you won this time. But then he decides, I'm going to be petty. So he did, because later he decided to go live once again on whatever the hell Periscope is and show a close-up of a computer screen that had a loading bar on it saying 48%. I'm laughing because the concept of it's hilarious when we get there. The context is hilarious because we don't know what this means now, but we will later. My God, can you imagine? He's just like, you won, but I'm gonna get you. So later he posts a cryptic photo because, if that loading bar wasn't cryptic enough for you, this is. It says meaning in the pattern, and then in the corner it says time. Now this would also lead people to believe that Blurryface was getting ready to leak another song and they were gonna listen to it. I would have been one of those people, I'm gonna be straight honest. However, they were wrong, but they were also right. They were right about something being leaked, but they were wrong about that it was just going to be a song. And this really shows how petty Blurryface is. This is why I was laughing. So later he went live again, and he showed a makeshift CD that was written 21 Pilots Blurryface with Sharpie, by the way. So here's that photo. And then he played some of it, and allegedly, we don't really know much. We don't really have a video of it. Allegedly, it was the instrumental for the song Ride. About an hour after he went live, he had tweeted this, and people thought it was Russian at first, but then Russians would say, oh, we don't really use that word, or that's not like the correct pronunciation or way to say it. So once you would go into Google Translate and put that in, it would say the words drip, 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 showing that something was going to be leaking. Tell you what, it wasn't a song. In fact, you're probably going to find out right now, because if you remember, in his previous live, he showed the CD. So that's like the album. He has the album. And we also saw the loading bar from earlier. So there's kind of a connection there already. If you see it, you probably see it right now. If you experienced it, that must have been fun. And if you don't know what it is, we're about to find out, because then after that, he tweets once again saying,
Now you can find it. Go find it.
So this showed us that there's something out right now. There's a leak out right now. And they were right, except it wasn't a leak for one song, not even 3 songs. Get it? He had leaked the entire goddamn album. Straight up, he got that's what I love. That's what my personal theory makes me laugh so much. He got petty that he couldn't leak a song, so he's like, you know what?
I'm gonna leak the entire album.
So now Blurryface was done for the day. He was clocking out. He was cleaning up shop. What do you mean by cleaning up shop? He was deleting everything. He was deleting his tweets. He deleted his header. He deleted his profile picture. By the way, if you notice his profile picture, that's Blurryface right there. This is what Blurryface looked like. This was his profile picture. This man ate my son. So yeah, that would kind of bring an end to Blurryface. He deleted everything. That he leaked the album. He did what he was going to do, and that's about it. That's the video. It was a really short video. I don't know why I didn't tack it on to the brief history. No, we're not done. No. This is just the beginning. We're barely in 2015 still. The album Blurryface hadn't even come out officially. Now the next day, yes, literally the next day, he brought his profile picture back and was active again. He tweeted, "Taking my time." Now this is a very weird and noticeable tweet because he wasn't talking in the format that he usually does. In fact, there's proper grammar. He's actually speaking in lowercase for once, so it kind of showed that something was up. But also the leaks had been taken down, officially taken down. So in a way, I guess he was defeated, kind of. It was he got punched in the face. We'll say that. Blurryface got punched in the face. And then on May 11th, once again, he tweeted, very legible, very grammatically correct.
Tonight? ?
Now this next part's actually kind of funny because Tyler acknowledged the leak and he said, "Do you like them?" And Blurryface just says,
"No."
And it's funny because this one tweet, this one like funny tweet saying no, kind of ties Blurryface together onto what he really means, because we don't know yet. We just see Blurryface as a character. Now on May 17th, 2015, that is about 10 years ago now. That is crazy. Blurryface was officially released, and it is a really great album. It was very critically well received, and the concept of it was really, really good because it delved in on mental health stuff, and each song would be a different kind of struggle, such as Heavy Dirty Soul, Ride, Stressed Out, Polarized, Doubt. Just a lot of them. Every song represented a different kind of mental health struggle, which we will kind of see in a different album later down the line too. So is this it? Now that the album's out, is Blurryface done tweeting and the next 2 years are just going on without a hitch? No. We're still in 2015. We got 2 more years to cover. So 2 days later, on May 20th, 2015, Blurryface was kind of pissed. I'm not gonna lie. He says,
"You've got it, and now you've had it. I've had it with all of you."
So a little bit of a trigger warning because this does talk about suicide in a bit. So just heads up, trigger warning. Skip to this if you don't really want to hear about that. It's going to be tougher as this series gets on, but here's a timestamp for you. So based on the last tweet, Blurryface seems very, very pissed off about something. So in his fit of anger, he tweets again, showing a photo of the boys upside down, saying,
"Hang them."
Very, very weird, very concerning in a way. It's heavily speculated that he's talking about, what's the word for it? I don't want to get flagged. Game ending, unaliving. Oh, sewer slide. Because YouTube's really weird about that word, although they kind of shouldn't be. If I get flagged for that, I'm crashing out and saying it 100 times on a video. Now this would be the last tweet that Blurryface would do for a while. The next time he's active again is on June 10th, 2015. He began teasing the Lane Boy music video, and I'm not gonna really get into it just because it's a lot. And if you really want to see how it happens, I strongly recommend going to the link in the description below showing the Blurryface timeline. For now, we are just gonna kind of move on. I will cover that he did something pretty cool, which is he would count down the hours till that video was released by showing amount of markings and the amount of followers. I believe the markings were 6 and he was following 6 people, and after every hour he would delete it, and then it would be 5 markings, he would unfollow a person and be 5 following, and he would do that until the video release. And then when the video was released, he once again decided to delete everything, clean up shop once again. Profile picture gone, header gone, tweets gone. This would be a thing that he would do very, very often later down the road. Now, the next Blurryface tweet would be very cryptic, and it wouldn't actually be solved for a very long time. What do I mean by a very long time? It would be roughly about a year and a half till we got that answer and finally found out what it meant. It took that long, but honestly, I don't blame the fans at the time. They were really happy the album came out and Blurryface was being a cryptic bitch again. So the tweet was
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
and then a question mark. So what fans picked up very quickly was that there were 5 music videos out. And then the question mark, they were thinking that it was going to be a 6th one. Once again, that wouldn't be solved till a year and a half later. That's so evil. My God. 3 days later, he began tweeting very cryptically again about something coming out. A lot of fans were excited, saying, oh look, another music video. Oh, look, maybe it's another single. No. It was a web series for their documenting their tour. A lot of fans were disappointed, but hey, it was a pretty nice web series, I'm not gonna lie. So then he tweeted later, and it was a photo of what looks like Tyler and Josh. It was very dark, but I wonder what this means. Maybe we'll find out later. Who knows? I know. So the next time we would see Blurryface would be obviously in the album art and in the 2017 Emotional Roadshow tour. That intro would be dark, and then the circles would form the album logo, and then Fairly Local would start playing, and then the circles formed, became red, and then Blurryface appeared on screen. I'm gonna have a video on the screen right now showing it. Blurryface would appear and he would be talking to everyone in the audience. Yeah, it's a really cool way to show him. So now we know who Blurryface looks like. We know how he talks. We kind of know what his intentions are. But we're going to look a little deeper and see what Blurryface actually represents beyond the character, what that character means. So if you didn't know it already, Blurryface is a manifestation of Tyler's struggles in mental health and his insecurities. He would say this in a Lollapalooza interview.
Okay, so as it turns out, it was not a Lollapalooza interview. It was an MTV interview. I'll have it linked in the description, but that's where Tyler specifically talks about his insecurities and what Blurryface means to him with the paint. So yeah, I don't know where I got the information of it being Lollapalooza from, but it's actually from MTV. Just wanted to tweak that a little bit.
He said that he wants to give him and the band's insecurity a name and a face. And Blurryface is that. In fact, Tyler would also say in a separate interview that Blurryface would sometimes manifest on stage as we saw it. Now, before we see what that means, we're going to kind of say that Blurryface isn't a good person. Blurryface isn't good. Blurryface is very much an antagonist in this kind of narrative, because Blurryface represents horrible mental health and mental health struggles. So when people say Blurryface wins, that is not a good thing at all, because it shows that your struggles, your insecurities won, and it's easier to stay there rather than actually climb out, because it's easier to let yourself get beaten up by yourself, and it's harder to climb out of that, harder to keep going. So there's that. And once again, to reiterate on it's easier to let yourself be taken by that or beat yourself up over that. That's why that line in Goner says that. The lyric says, I've got 2 faces, Blurry's the one I'm not, I need your help to take him out. He's directly calling for his friends, people that he loves, to take him out, because that is how you kind of get help. Those are the first few steps of when you're going through something to get help, because surrounding yourself from the people you love to around the people you love, and then you feel comfortable and safe enough to actually call for help with them. And I just love that. I love the philosophical angle of this. I love how Tyler is talking about mental health in a way that's engaging. I love it. And another thing that actually highlights this is the song Not Today, which is very underrated. It would be, that song is literally an argument between Blurryface and Tyler, and Blurryface wins. Literally, Blurryface wins that argument, and the lyrics change. Like, the chorus changes from "you are out of your mind" to argument happens, and the lyrics change to I'm out of my mind. Such a really good storytelling narrative. So back to that interview. The main way that Blurryface would manifest himself would be through the paint on his hands and the paint on his neck. Now, what this means is his hands mean his insecurity to create, to write, because anything he puts out, he's made with his hands. That's why his hands are covered in black. And for the neck, this one's a bit of a theory because I don't think it's really said, but I think it's like his insecurity of what he's saying, what he's talking about. And obviously he's a vocalist, so obviously what he's singing about, kind of like how you're in a conversation and you kind of feel insecure about what you talk about sometimes. Another theory, and one that's more prominent, is that Tyler is saying that the neck kind of feels like suffocation that you would feel when you get anxious or when you're in a panic attack, which kind of makes sense. I've had panic attacks before. It does feel like you're suffocating. It does feel like you don't know how to breathe, like you're on manual breathing mode. That's what I really love, because the representation of the paint on your neck and the paint on the hands can be interpreted in pretty different ways, and that's why I love it. It's art. That's how art's supposed to be. Art's subjective. You can take art and see it one way, and another person can take art and see it in a different way. It's really, really cool. I love it. Now, there's a story that would be going on, a very subtle one, from the beginning of 2015 of the era to the very end of the era. You see, this is a photo in 2015. Tyler's Blurryface paint is very thick, very dark. Now, as time went on until the last show he played, that paint would pretty much get lighter and lighter until there was pretty much only traces of it left. And I really liked that. It showed that he was very insecure at the very start of the era, and as time went on, that paint just faded away. That insecurity kind of faded away a bit. It's a really, really cool, subtle story that not a lot of people get, but I remember seeing final show, Emotional Roadshow on YouTube, and was like, oh, his paint's really light. And I looked into it, and yeah, then I found the information. And then on June 25th, 2017, Tyler would post a video of the Blurryface paint washing off in the sink. Here's that photo right now. This photo would be the start of something that gave a lot of Blurryface era fans, including me, a little bit PTSD. I say PTSD very loosely, not seriously, but it gave us war flashbacks. Now, there's another thing that I didn't really elaborate on, just because there wasn't much information about it, and I really wish there was, and that would be Josh's quote-unquote Blurryface persona, Spooky Jim Christmas. That's about all we know. The way that Josh would show that would be the red paint around his eyes. While Tyler's paint was getting lighter with every show until the end, Josh's eye paint would get brighter until the very end. So yeah, there really isn't much on that, except in 2017, Josh had a drum battle with what's assumed to be Spooky Jim, and Josh kills him, literally drum battle, and Josh wins that battle, and his head is blown off. I'm not even joking. There's a video on screen right now. That's what happened, which might be why we don't really have much information on it. Plus, when 2017, when that drumming video came out, he would just be introduced as Josh Dun, rather than in 2016, Nigel, which is another thing that is I didn't touch on, is Nigel would say Joshua Spooky Jim Christmas Dun. Now we're coming to a little bit of a close with the Blurryface era. We still have more to go, but we're almost done, I swear. So to kick things off, we're finally going to be talking about the Heavy Dirty Soul video. You know, the video that was teased a year and a half before, and then we finally got it. Evil. Cast it out. So if you remember, there's that tweet with the X's on the eyes. That's the day that the video was released, saying one more. And this video is very, very important in the lore. This is where the lore officially starts, with this video right here. So we're gonna watch the Heavy Dirty Soul video. I recommend that you pause this video, go watch it, and come back. Please, it is really, really cool, and you're gonna understand more when you do that. Alright, did you guys watch the Heavy Dirty Soul music video? I know you just said yes without even actually going to go watch it. I see you. Anyways, we're going to talk about the video. So first off, there's a big question. Who's driving? Everyone immediately thought it was Blurryface, and technically, they were right. Why do I say technically? We're going to find that out in the next video. I promise we'll get to that later. Second is, why is Josh there, and why does the car keep avoiding him, and why does it keep going in a circle? So this is kind of a cycle, and it's showing Josh is there to help out and help Tyler, and the car avoiding him can be kind of a double meaning for just avoiding the help. You know, like people how in that struggle with mental health do, because sometimes people will be like, hey, I got the help you need, and you just kind of avoid that, even though they may look like your best friend. This next theory is one that I had when I was 13 years old, and I thought I was so like, oh, I'm so philosophical. It was the theory that the car was a literal breakdown, that we see that the car is breaking down until it finally just explodes. So I thought, oh, so the car's breaking down, which means you're breaking down, and when you explode, you kind of just explode with like anger or sadness or any emotion. Looking back on it, 12-year-old me was a fucking genius for that, because it kind of makes sense, but also it kind of doesn't. But you know, it was a theory I had, and I just wanted to go ahead and throw that in there. Now, what I loved was there was a little bit of foreshadowing. The bass drum had the band's logo on it, and when the drum catches fire until the end, we finally see the logo is burned off and it falls to the ground. This is showing us that this is it. The era's done. That there's something else coming on, but that pretty much shows us, yep, there goes the Blurryface era. But we still kind of have more to go through, so stick with me. So the ending of that isn't really canon, which is really funny to say on a music video, because it's a cycle. That ending is more of a double meaning than an actual canon thing of representing that it's going through a cycle again and again. So now this is the final piece of the entire era. It was a tweet from Tyler and a tweet from the band. The tweets from the band are going on again, and I can't handle it. So starting off on June 25th, 2017, that's when Tyler posted that photo of the Blurryface paint washing off, once again showing that it's the end of an era and Tyler's in control again rather than Blurryface being in control. Now, these last tweets made by the band were very cryptic. It would show an eye closing, and both their profile picture and the tweets would show it this. Profile picture showed what's going on currently right now, the eye closing over the logo. The tweets would be a bigger picture of that and have lyrics on the screen, and every day they would update both, showing the eye closing more and more until when it finally closed, it said silence. And that brings us to the end of the Blurryface era altogether. That's it. So there's more that actually happens in 2017. They happened before this. We're not going to touch on that now. I'd rather touch on that in the next video that covers the hiatus era and the trench era. It honestly fits a little bit more for what we're going to be talking about. But for now, this is actually the end of the Blurryface era. So we made it. We talked about 2015 to 2017. Now that we made it to the end of the Blurryface era, I am actually going to rank the songs. Now, once again, I am not covering singles. I'm not covering the EP as much as I love that EP. So we're going to go ahead and get into my personal ranking for the Blurryface album. So at number 1, it's my personal favorite. I love this song so much. It's Hometown. So fun fact, when I went to go see 21 Pilots in 2017, Hometown was cut from that set list in Tucson. I was devastated because I was like, oh my God, Hometown's my favorite song. I'm going to see it live for the first time. I didn't. And I think it's the only time they've ever played it with full instrumentals and everything. Really sad about it to this day. I did kind of see it live during the IC tour, which we'll get on to later. So at least I got that. And then at number 2 is Heavy Dirty Soul. I've said it earlier in this video. Heavy Dirty Soul is the first song that I ever listened to, like, deeply, and that's how I got into the band. And then number 3 is The Judge. Really, really fun song. Not gonna lie, that song is just so fun to listen to. Number 4 is Ride. Number 5 is Message Man. Number 6 is Not Today. Number 7 is Stressed Out. Number 8 is Lane Boy. Number 9 is Tearing My Heart. Number 10 is Fairly Local. Number 11 is Doubt. Number 12 is Polarized. Number 13 is Goner. And number 14 is We Don't Believe What's on TV. Now, once again, I do really want to reiterate 2 things. 1, my opinion. This is personally what I think. If you think different, that is really, really cool. You could go ahead and rank your Blurryface song rankings in the comments below if you want to. And another thing is, I said this before in my brief history segment, just because a song is at the bottom doesn't mean I don't like it. In fact, I love it. These songs literally go from like I love it to really, really, really good. The way I kind of rank it is songs I listen to very, very often to songs I don't really listen to as often, but if they're there, I will listen to it. I will not skip it. In my personal opinion, 21 Pilots do not have a bad song. As much as people want to say they do, personally, I don't think they do. So next time we're going to be covering the hiatus era and the trench era, and we're going to be going through the lore of that. That will be a very long video. There is a ton of lore in that video. That's when everything starts. So we are going to go over through that, but I just want to say thank you once again for watching my Blurryface era lore video. It was really, really fun. It's kind of nostalgic for me because once again, Blurryface is now 10 years old. That's insane. There's lore going on right now that I'm worried about. And once again, this is when I first started listening to them. So this was kind of a personal one to me. So yeah, thank you so much. And really quick, I want to give a shout out to all my friends that saw this before it was even a video concept. As you know, or as you don't know, this started out as a presentation for my friends because Clancy was coming out, and I showed it to my friends, and then we had a PowerPoint night, and I kind of showed it to my other friends, and everyone's like, you should make this a video, and they kind of encouraged me to. So if it wasn't for them, this video wouldn't even be happening. But I just want to give a very big shout out to them. Thank you guys. I'm really happy you helped me and pushed me towards making this video. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, if you like this video, let me know down below in the comments. Go ahead, hit like, hit subscribe, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video when we talk about the hiatus era and trench. Peace.